In today's episode, we give you our impressions of our recent playthrough of Lords of Waterdeep, what we liked, what we didn't like, and why it's still an awesome game. Stick around.
You're listening to the Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey folks, thanks for sticking around. In the last episode we uploaded, it was our gameplay of Lords of Waterdeep. Michael was our winner at 162
points. Yep.
162. And I came in second place at 148. And Robert?
136.
136. It's probably been 4 years.
According to that box, it might have been as many as 6.
6 years?
Since we played this game.
Yeah, probably been 5 or 6 for me, yeah.
No. 2016, September 5th, 2016.
Okay. 4 years.
Robert,
exactly.
you beat me
right.
with 153 points in a two-player game.
Okay.
It was you and me, two-player game.
This is probably the last time I remember that game, but still, yeah.
Some night in September, you and I just played out of nowhere. So it's been 4 years. Like, it literally has just been over 4 years since we played this game.
I'm glad I got you to knock off the dust.
Yeah. It's classic. Can we call it classic at this point? I mean, I think it's classic.
It's 10 years old-ish.
Well, 2012.
Is that what
I think
it
this game was the 2012 game.
Copyright 2012, yep. So
Okay.
It's only been 8 years, which actually nowadays is a long run for games.
Yeah, I would say for a board game, that puts it on the borderline of being a kind of classic game. Yeah.
At least the first worker placement game I ever played.
Yeah.
Yeah, when this one came out, the only ones that I remember were Stone Age and Agricola as far as like the major titles.
Yeah.
You mean Agricola?
Agricola? It's Nuka-Cola.
You taught me that game.
Yeah?
At your shop. Yep. You demoed it to me. And I realized I never wanted to play it again.
Oh, yeah. You didn't hate Caverna, did you? We played Caverna a couple times.
It's a great game if you want to play, especially a single-player worker placement game. Agricola is a great game for playing single-player.
Yeah?
The campaign actually gets real hard real quick, especially if you do good in the first game, because your goal is to beat your victory points every successive game.
I've never actually played it. I played Caverna a couple of times, a handful of times, but yeah.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of worker placement games, and I guess I really do feel this game is what popularized worker placement, or at least...
it's the most accessible.
Yes.
Stone Age came out, I think it was just before this released. I don't remember exactly the timing on the two, but like Stone Age is still one of the games that we recommend to anybody. Now I can tell you that I have not played a lot of the recent worker placement games, like
said that.
Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, of course.
Well, that's
just
fresh.
came out.
That's fresh.
What was the other one? Champions of Midgard.
Champions of Midgard. You said you haven't played that yet.
I have not played Champions of Midgard.
A lot of people say it's a killer of this game. Once you play that, a lot of people don't go back.
Just graduate.
So, yeah.
So kind of like Scoundrels of Skullport. Like once you play with the expansion, you don't want to.
Well, that'll be our next.
That's what I keep hearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who has that?
I do.
It's over there.
Okay, he's got it. We just haven't.
It's never been open.
Okay.
I told Carlos that we could play Lords of Waterdeep, but we can't play with the Scoundrels of Skullport because the copy we have at the store doesn't have the expansion because we don't want to. We want the base game experience when anybody borrows from the library.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't want to ruin my play of my desire to play Lords of Waterdeep by then not having Scoundrels.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely by far my most played worker placement game.
Well, it's time to get you into some of the new ones. When you said you haven't played Champions yet, it kind of surprised me a bit because it's such a good game. Well, I fought playing that game for a long time. If you watch the video where Robert, myself, and Michael Lorenzo talk about our love for Champions of Midgard.
I believe I was watching that stream.
Oh, it was live. That's right.
Yep.
The big thing for me was I did not want to play Champions of Midgard because I heard it was a killer of this game, and I love this game. I loved this game so much that I didn't want to ruin it for me. But Champions did replace Lords of Waterdeep for me.
Yeah, Champions 2015. I just was looking here on BGG. That was a 2015 release. What was that one we were talking about? Agricola? When did that come out?
Agricola should have been around 2013.
Agricola. Hold on. 2007, it says.
Wow.
Does that sound like that could be right?
That is entirely, I guess,
It may have been in Germany for a while. Maybe in a Europe thing for a while.
Yeah.
But I did get one play of that. And I guess the theme for me just didn't do it. And this game, my wife has played this game, and she's not a gamer.
Agricola has a lot more player interaction, though. Like what your opponents do matters a lot more in that game than it does in Lords of Waterdeep. You can effectively play this game mostly solo, even in playing 4 players or 5 players. So it's a little bit of a different situation with that one. Probably one of the reasons why I like it. But I actually prefer Agricola 1 player, just because it's.
So he touts Agricola for its ability to impact other players, and then tells you this is why I love it for being solo.
Yes.
Stone Age. That was the other one we were looking at. 2008 for Stone Age.
Stone Age.
So yes, that was 4 years before.
I have looked at too many board games. Apparently, I can't remember when any of them came out.
So we've been doing this for a little while. Yeah. I'm surprised to see these dates inside this box. I mean, if you look at inside this box here, folks, about 2012 at the top of the box for our first play. And then, it's December of 2012, Robert. That was our first play.
December 2012?
Yeah,
so
and then it goes all the way to 2016,
ago.
just rocking our high scores there.
I think I shorted Stone Age by 4 or 5 years because of that 4 or 5 years when nobody could get Stone Age.
Oh, okay. Was it hard to acquire for a while?
There was just a time where there were no copies available. It's just waiting on reprints.
Okay.
Stone Age had leather cups in it, didn't it? I can't remember.
It does, yeah, because of the leather.
It comes with a leather dice cup.
A lot of people say they stink. I've never owned a copy. But
When you open the box, a box of Stone Age, take the leather cup out, set it on a windowsill outside for 3-4 days, and then come back to it.
Okay, that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
It's odoriferous. So,
Well, what is it that you like about this worker placement game? And we've played a few. What are the things that make this game something we should get to the table?
Yeah, we should talk about this game, shouldn't we? In this review.
You came here for Lords of Waterdeep?
Yeah. So, my appeal for this game is I started playing D&D when I was in middle school.
Right there with you.
And of course, the Dristor and storylines but go through Waterdeep multiple times. The characters I already knew. It's actually fairly thematic. Granted, it could just be a completely painted on skin. You could take the mechanics from this game to any skin on it.
Yeah.
And it would effectively be the exact same game. But it's just that little tie-in for me was what drew me to this particular game.
I think it's a great gateway type game. I mean, it's a real easy game to teach worker placement to people, to teach some of those basic game mechanics.
I think your wife played, my wife played, Alex's wife played at the time.
Yeah.
It's fairly light, even for what is this?
That's a deep. The rule book is a
24-page rule book.
Yeah.
But the game itself is fairly light.
Yeah. So I was definitely not as attached to the D&D. I've never been a huge fan of the whole D&D thing. Role-playing in general is not my cup of tea. So that part of it's kind of take it or leave it. And that probably made it a little easier for me to kind of pitch it when I played Champions of Midgard. But Champions of Midgard, again, kind of definitely did replace a lot of this for me. But again, Champions of Midgard is definitely a step up in complexity. There's more going on in Champions. And so it's, I hate to use the term, but gamer's game. It's more of a gamer's game. This is definitely one, if I had a newer gamer, I would definitely use this to introduce them to worker placement over Champions. So.
I'm curious to see what you'll say once we do the Scoundrel Skullport expansion.
I want to see that. Yeah.
Does that bring us back to more level?
It might. It might get closer back where Champions is. Yeah.
I think for me, it's the same things that brought you into loving this game. I wasn't as deep into the lore of Dungeons and Dragons. My uncle was in the Army, Puerto Rican guy, learned how to play D&D. We just played D&D. So the lore really wasn't a big deal, but it was the fun of playing D&D. And just reading the cards, the quests that they go on, and then imagining in my head, okay, so that takes one cleric and 4 rogues. They go on this quest. They reveal the corruption in this place, and then he comes back. The reward for that card is 2 clerics. And in my mind, I'm envisioning, okay, so he goes off with a couple of rogues and shows them why these guys are so bad and converts one into a cleric and comes back to the tavern.
Got a lot of story going on there.
But that's all happening in my head, while just playing what you said. I pay 2 white cubes, and 2 black cubes.
A couple bucks and give me some
But
points.
all it cost from Wizards of the Coast was a little bit of flavor text.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some pictures and a name of a quest.
And the best part is, as far as the flavor text and the name of the quest goes, there's so much material in the Forgotten Realms and around Waterdeep that they just took elements out of their stories that were already there.
I'd say one place where I didn't cut you off, but one place where this has a step up over Champions, and again, you haven't played Champions yet, is definitely the art on the cards. The art's not phenomenal in this game, but it is definitely better than Champions. The Champions is just some basic monsters, some
Almost
trolls,
cartoony.
and some things. Yeah, it's a little cartoony. So that's
But D&D has 40-something years now, right?
Yeah.
40-something years?
to draw on.
How old are we?
What? Step it up one more decade.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
50-something years.
least.
It's just about 50 years since the first Dungeons and Dragons was released.
Only
I got
50.
a lot of stuff to pull the art from.
It was the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Gygax.
the first Dungeons and Dragons was released in 73.
73. I was
But
going to say
the,
74 when I was born. So
But
yeah,
the first game, I believe, was 68 or 69 when the first group got together. Back when it got converted from chainmail.
okay.
But I like how they didn't focus on making it so overtly in your face D&D
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it would turn off someone like you.
Right. Yeah. It's in the background a little bit. So yeah, it's not completely.
I think it was a perfect balance
you
of
don't have to know
theme
the
and gameplay.
background. Yeah.
You need this, sir.
And the fact that we got it back out, played it as fast as we did, remember all the rules.
Yeah.
For the most part, just a couple of times going into the rulebook.
Took a couple glances. Yeah.
Speaks volumes for this game.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's an ad in here for
You still have the
Dungeons and
insert.
Dragons.
Well, for 8 years
That's
ago.
for Adventures League.
That's what was hot 8 years ago.
Wow.
Man, I'm feeling old.
I
That was
know.
only the first three. There were three
have-
board games.
Yeah, you
I
got
have-
at least a couple of them.
This, and that. I have all three.
You have
I have three.
yep.
I don't have that.
Castle Raven.
And they're all purchased at your shop.
Yep.
My wife bought me this one for Father's Day from you. I remember that. Folks, get your shelf. Look for one of those older games that you loved. Pull it out and play it.
Yeah.
We focus so much on the new.
Cult of
There's
the new.
so much energy spent. And I'm not trying to get on a soapbox or anything, but I'm just going to get up there.
I'll get up there too.
There's so much energy spent on the Kickstarter that's coming out in a year
3
or
years.
2 years or 3 years from now, in what we talk about, what we watch on reviews, and that's just energy wasted on something that you can't enjoy today. Find something that's on your shelf, like a Lords of Waterdeep or a Stone Age or an Agricola or Agricola, whatever you want to call it. Get it to the table. Show some newer gamers some of the stuff that today's games are built on.
Yeah.
And we hope in this next series that we're doing, we're going to, well, series of games at least, we're going to be playing some worker placement games.
Yeah.
We've got
Do some
Tiny Epic
Some
Dinosaurs.
newer stuff, some
next
classic
week.
stuff. Yeah.
Rob and I, once we heard him say Michael has never played Champions of Midgard, like right then and there, we said we are playing Champions of Midgard.
Yep, we'll put that in
Let's
there.
get into the table.
So, what's your favorite worker placement game?
Yeah, absolutely. What do we need to play? What do we need to put in our ranking? Yeah.
Yep.
And then you got the new weird ones like Pendulum.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some
Right,
new ones. We'll
it's,
play some new ones. We'll play some old
Pendulum.
ones. We'll mix it all up. So yeah.
You know, it's no turns. They use
Sand timers.
Sand timers. So there's no turns. So you're just like, just real time.
Okay.
Yes. So we got some worker placement games to play. But that was our just follow up impressions review of Lords of Waterdeep. I don't really have anything negative I could say about this game.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
It's just a good game.
Yep.
Any last words on Lords of Waterdeep?
Nope.
I think we got it.
Have
All right,
fun.
folks. Thanks for watching Beans and Dice Podcast. Like, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Be safe.
Thanks. Have fun gaming.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.